After 60 games, the Boston Celtics and Denver Nuggets sit as the two best teams in the league behind superstars Nikola Jokic and Jayson Tatum. The reigning champions and super team C's appear on a collision course in what would be one of the best NBA finals in recent memory. 90% of champions in the last 39 years and 14 of the last in 15 full seasons won 40 games before losing their 20th. The 40-20 theory by legendary coach Phil Jackson that has held up through the years, and this season 4 teams reached that mark: the Nuggets, Celtics, Thunder, and Timberwolves. Usually the best teams win a title, and these teams have proven to be the best regular season teams. But adding on to that, a championship team will need a top 5 to 10 guy to at least win a championship, and while the Timberwolves are lacking that, Jokic is arguably the best player in the league, and in my opinion, the best. And Jayson Tatum has been a certified superstar the last couple seasons and is a top 10 player with an argument to sneak into the top 5. Those are two of the main historical precedents that a team must reach, but the Celtics and Nuggets look good everywhere. Your number 1 or 2 player has to have some deep playoff experience, at least making a conference finals, and the last team to win it without it was in 1981. But the Celtics and Nuggets' entire core have been to the finals outside of Kristaps Porzingis, as both of those teams exceed those expectations. All but one champion since 2001 have ranked top 12 in defensive rating, with the exception being the 15th ranked Denver last season, and both teams rank in the top 10 this year, with Boston being 3rd. Your offensive efficiency must also not be abysmal compared to the rest of the league, with every champion since 2012 having an effective field goal percentage higher than 53.5%, which the Celtics and Nuggets of course have. You also must be a somewhat non-young team with an average age above 24 years old, in which no team has won a championship with that since 1981. 74% of the time, a team that finished in the top 3 in net rating has won the NBA Finals, and while the Nuggets sit nearly outside of the top 3, which I will talk about why later, and they didn't last year despite winning, and the Boston Celtics lead the league with a plus 10.6. The average records of NBA champions from 1981 to 2022 is 61 and 21 with an average win percentage of 73.9%, and both teams are close, with the Celtics on pace for 65 wins while Denver's on pace for 56. The advanced statistics have these teams above the rest, especially when you look at lineups where in the playoffs your bench becomes less important. Both starting lineups are top 4 in total plus minus, and both teams have been praised for their elite 5-man rotations, and though they don't have much elite depth past 6 or 7 guys, with Denver's 8th, 9th, and 10th being Payne Watson, Justin Holiday, and Julian Strawther, and Boston's being Payton Pritchard, Luke Cornett, and O'Shea Brissett. Not all terrible players, but not guys you want as a big part in your rotation, and is better for spot minutes, though P-Watt is a defensive menace. Both lineups also rank top 10 in defensive rating and top 8 in offensive rating, and high usage 5-man lineups with 200 plus minutes. Boston ranks 1st in adjusted shot quality, while Denver ranks 3rd with Phoenix sandwiched between them, and both teams ranking top 3 in adjusted offensive and defensive shot quality, and have been unlucky in their games with negative record luck compared to what their shot quality is, proving just how good of looks they get, which matters a ton when considering the last 4 champions ever since the shot quality site was introduced finished top 3, with 3 of the 4 finishing top 2. They all also won the shot quality 64% or more of the time, something just 4 teams have done this season, including Boston and Denver. Both teams overall rank top 12 in offensive rating, top 10 in defensive rating, and top 8 in net rating. Looking into the composition of the teams, they're built for the playoffs. The Nuggets rank 25th in free throw attempt rate, while the Celtics rank 19th. Both bottom 5 among teams that are currently in playoff position, which works very well in the playoffs as teams usually don't get as many foul calls. They also rank top 10 in turnover percentage and don't allow many points in the paint. The Boston Celtics are one of the best regular season teams of the century, as they currently sit at 47 and 12, 65 win pace, which would be the 19th most ever and 4th most in the illustrious Celtics history. This team is led by superstar Jayson Tatum, who is one of the premier wings in the league and has put himself into the MVP conversation, as he sits top 10 in points per game while shooting less field goal attempts than all but 2 of those players. He's also a positive on the defensive side, something you see across the whole team. And Jaylen Brown is considered their 2nd best player, and though he is slandered a lot, he's still a very solid 2-way scorer. A new addition, Kristaps Porzingis, has been great offensively and defensively with an all-star caliber season, and a big upgrade at center from previous years, and guards Derek White and Drew Holiday are pest defense and can perfectly fill their offensive roles, making the most complete starting 5 currently, with Al Horford stepping up as their 6th man, and guy with playoff experience can knock down threes and play defense. Sam Hauser and Payton Pritchard both can shoot off the bench, providing a spark plug if needed, though this team does not lack shooters, as they average by far the most threes per game with 16.2 on 38.4%, which ranks 4th. While they can make pull-up threes with a league-leading 5 per game on solid efficiency, they do not miss off ball, making 11 a game on 40%. Boston has made 15 or more threes in 45 of their 59 games, despite the league average being below 13, and went 39 and 6 in those games, and even better going 27-2 in games that they make 17 or more. They've shot 40% or better from 3 in nearly half their games, going 25 and 1 in those outings, with the only loss being Mathurin's free throws after the buzzer sounded. They can also win without getting to the line, going 18 and 6 in games with less than 20 free throw attempts. As the aforementioned shot quality shows, They take great shots with over 40% of their threes having 4 or more feet of separation from the closest defender, with less than 37% of their opponent's threes having that much. This defense is arguably the best in the league, as they don't have a single defensive liability in their main 6-man rotation and have allowed 125 or more points just 5 times this season, which is insane when compared to another Eastern playoff team, Pacers, who have done that 25 times. The Celtics are top 3 in offensive, defensive, and net rating for the second consecutive season, the first time that has been done since the Michael Jordan Bulls, and the last team with as high of a net rating as the Celtics this season was the 2016-17 Warriors with Kevin Durant. The Celtics also take care of business, going 22-1 so far against teams under 500, best since 2007, but they are not scrubs against good teams, as they have a league-leading 25-11 record against teams over 500. Their current 10-game win streak as of the writing of the script is the largest this season, as they're getting hot at the right time, and that hasn't been a cakewalk, with a win at Miami, at New York, and against the new look Dallas Mavericks, winning by an average of 14.1 points in that 10-game span. They do have some battles coming up with Golden State, which you have seen the result of before this video comes out, and this game would turn out to be a historically good game by the Boston Celtics, winning 140-88 and led at halftime 82-38 with a 50-11 run mid-game and a road stretch of Cleveland, Denver, and Phoenix. But if they can go even 2-2 in that stretch, that shows just how strong of a team they are, and beating them 4 times in a playoff series might be near impossible, as just one team has beat them multiple times this year, the Indiana Pacers, who still ended up losing the season series to Boston 3-2. On the other side of the association is the 41-19 Denver Nuggets, who find themselves as the 3 seed but just a game back of the 1 spot. MVP favorite Nikola Jokic leads Denver with an absurd 26-12-9 on 65% true shooting, as he is one of the greatest offensive engines we have ever seen, but has also turned into a big positive defensively, not being a liability in actions anymore, but instead using his fast hands and reflexes. Jamal Murray is one of the best second options in the league, consistently stepping up in the playoffs and can knock down big shots. Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope are all also starters that can play great defense and fit their role perfectly. But what is most impressive about the Nuggets is that they're not putting all their effort into the regular season. This team is coasting through, having already won last season's championship. They do not need to focus on the regular season. Key players Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon have missed a significant amount of time, and they're just not trying that hard in the regular season, but are still one of the best teams and just a game back of the first seed. This team seems built for the playoffs. Most of their points come in the half court, as they have the 4th least amount of transition points, which bodes well for the postseason. This team is very safe with the ball and plays at their own pace, with Jokic being one of the best players in the league at doing so. And though the advanced stats don't tell the whole story, this team is amazing. They have a special ability to just close a game when they want to and have plenty of championship experience from last season. There really aren't any teams near these two, with the Clippers being close and maybe in the regular season the Thunder and Timberwolves have an argument, but both of these squads sit as the heavy favorites on betting sites to make the NBA Finals, with Boston Celtics having a -125 chance to make the NBA Finals according to FanDuel, which is over a 50% chance, while the Denver Nuggets sit at +185, still leading the Western Conference. And when it comes playoff time, these two teams have proven that they are the best, both making it to the finals in the last 2 years, and have returned most of their team while upgrading it. So do not be surprised if when come June, there's a Jokic-Tatum duel in the finals.